All right. Well, good evening, family. Amen. If you are watching this, this was actually recorded for Christmas Eve 2020. And so if you're watching this for the first time on Christmas Eve, first of all, I'm proud of you that you actually watched Bible study on Christmas Eve. But other than that, I want to say a happy Merry Christmas to you and to your family. I pray that you guys are safe and that you're at home. And that, that you just remember to keep Christ in Christmas. And so other than that, listen, we have been on a journey. I'm the last leg, the last part of this particular journey. We've been doing, for the last couple of months, chapters out of Wayne Cadero's book, Doing Church as a Team. And I'm the leg, I'm the anchor. I'm bringing home the last chapter called Nurturing the Team. And so listen, first, before I start, I want to thank each and every one who's come along with us during this journey. I want to thank all the speakers, all those who have been creative. We've seen some creative ways of teaching, though, as we've been through all 13 chapters, and just hats off to all who have done it. If you haven't watched all of the previous chapters and you want to just go back, again, just start back at chapter number 1 and just follow down the course. You will be blessed. You will be amazed as we, again, have endeavored to do church as a team. And so, again, I have the anchor, the last part, chapter 13 of the book. And I just want to go over some highlights about what Pastor Cordero was trying to explain. If you missed last week, chapter 12, where the First Lady, she was talking about culture. Again, Wayne, he kind of follows that same leg, that same vein into chapter 13. But chapter 13, and I'm excited about this, and it is actual proper that I actually am the one to kind of bring this home. Actually, chapter 13, I think, as in reading it, is actually for the leader. It's actually speaking to the leader of individual ministries or the leaders of the team. Listen, we have a multitude of leaders here at our church. They, serve from ministry leaders to assistant pastors to elders. But, leaders are important. They are an intricate part. And so that Wayne would take chapter 13 and just decide to just really talk about the importance of some of the things that leaders should do. Now, this actually should, too, in proper retrospect, carry throughout the whole team. Everyone should feel the same things. But really, though, I think that I viewed it through the lens of a leader. And so chapter 13, again, nurturing the team. As a leader, what should some of the things that a leader do to nurture the team? The first thing that he talks about is something called incubating the right culture. That means that incubating means that there's a process that takes for the culture to mature, to become what you wanted it to be, what you thought it should be. It doesn't happen overnight. I think really he's impressing upon us the importance of relationship, that the culture doesn't pop up overnight, but it happens through a series of small interactions, a series of conversations, a series of praying together, a series of growing together, a series of nurturing the relationship, so that the culture, if done consistently in the right process, will grow. It'll be the right culture. And that only takes time. Listen, anything that you do, anything that you're going to grow. It takes time. Right now, my family and I, we're in the process of trying to grow some carrots and tomatoes and other stuff right now, and we know that we wish that it was just like, in the store, you could just go and pick it right up. But having have to go out and water these plants, having to go out and make sure that they're in the right place, that they get the right amount of sun. It's interesting that you saw it from bare ground to all of a sudden you see these sprouts coming up. Now, we haven't quite gotten to the point where there's fruit and or vegetables and I'm sitting at the dinner table eating them, but it takes time. But I am enjoying the process of seeing these I think we got some green beans and cucumbers, whatever stuff it is, but it's just seeing it grow. Our relationships are just like that. Listen, when you first meet someone, when you first come into leadership, it takes time to get to know the team. This happens over a process. I've even been told that it actually even takes 5 to 7 years for an oncoming senior pastor to actually become the people's pastor. Why? Because it takes time for relationships to grow. They're learning you, you're learning them, but it's an incubation time. It's an incubation time, and so what you get in it, what you put in it is what you get out of it. And you really want to take the time to get to know your team members, build a relationship with them, start with that culture that we're all on the same team, that we want the same thing. It happens that way. He goes on, Pastor Cordero, he goes on to talk about healthy relationships. Healthy relationships are important. It's what I am learning and what I have learned, again, as a senior pastor of this church, is sometimes misunderstandings. We always have the habit I used to say that my mind is playing tricks on me, that sometimes the way that we think things are, or the way that we perceive things are not really the way they are. And sometimes it's just a gentle conversation. Sometimes it's a courageous conversation. Sometimes it's a crucial conversation that clears up misconceptions. It's been amazing to me that every time that I've thought something was some way, or I felt something was some way, when I actually had a conversation with the person, or in vice versa, me as the leader, they came to me and had the conversation, they found out it wasn't that way. Now, we've lost time. We've hurt our relationship. We've done all these crazy things just because we didn't take the time to just conversate with each other. If we're in relationship, a relationship is a two-way. It's symbiotic. It comes together. And so sometimes we just need to keep the relationship healthy. And sometimes that just talks with conversation. Now, I can tell you right now, I hate crucial conversations. I hate conflict. I'm not the first to rush into an argument or to seek one out, but I am learning the value of them. And I'm learning that after you've had the conversation, after the air has been cleared, after you've said what you needed to say, that eventually things turn out better. We may not always agree, but sometimes we can agree to disagree and love each other. The relationship is what's most important. And so as leaders, as we're doing church, as you assess your team members, as you assess what's going on, as you feel the pulse in the room, we can all tell when there's an elephant in the room. We can all tell when there's something that's not right. We can all tell when there's an uneasiness, something that's tearing apart the relationship. And we should do our best, because the team is better when it's strongest, to make sure that we have a healthy relationship. Healthy things are things that you continue to work out, that you continue to work on. You give them the right nutrients. You give them the right medicine. You make sure that they have the right vitamins. And anyway, you keep constantly building to make things healthy. Same as with the relationship. Sometimes the vitamin is just a conversation. It's just a check-in. I love what he says, and I'm actually going to start incorporating this. But what he literally says to do is to go to each one of your team members or the leader and just say, are we okay? Are we okay? Is that because sometimes, folks will carry on things and they'll hold on to things that, again, they could be misconceptions, misunderstandings, misinterpretations, whatever it is. And sometimes the simple "are we okay" will do wonders. It will restore the relationship. It will reaffirm the relationship if the relationship is good. Sometimes you think stuff is going on and you're not even on people's minds. And so you in your feelings, feeling some kind of way, you all upset and distraught because such and such, and you think they're feeling a certain way, and come to find out you wasn't even on their mind, or vice versa. And so healthy relationships are relationships that, again, there's communication going forward, there's understanding, there's forgiveness, there's understanding that we're not all perfect, that we're constantly working on ourselves, that we all make mistakes. There's all the things that encompass a healthy relationship. But I do think, and I believe that paramount is that we do have to understand that we're all a work in process, that no one has arrived yet, that the way I do things may not be the way that you do things. The way that you see things may not be the way that I see things, and vice versa. And it's okay as long as we're talking, as long as we're communicating with each other, as long as we're filling each other out and just understand. These are healthy tools that build relationship. Relationships have to be worked on. They have to be continue, just like the vegetables in the garden. You got to continue to water them and plant them and keep them going. The other thing that I love that Pastor Cordero talks about is real quick, is that he talks about the importance of making others successful. That's something that I believe too, that it's not, we don't win unless we win as a team. If I'm successful but you're not successful, we're not successful. Especially when we talk about a church, when we're talking about a team. Listen, on a team, take a baseball team or a football team. You have the quarterback, you got the wide receiver, you got the offensive line, the defensive line, the tight end, the various positions. But listen, all of them by themselves can't win the football game. You can have the best quarterback that you would ever want, but if he doesn't have someone to pass the ball to, to hand the ball off to, or to pass the ball to, if there's no wide receiver, someone who can catch the football, the team may never score a touchdown. So the whole team is needed. And that, when we make each other successful, when we lift each other up, when we encourage each other, that's when the greatest successes happen. That's when the team wins. That's when a culture of team winning is built. And so making each other successful, it's also a kind of a pushing or a prompting of making you want to see your teammate be their best, to give their best. Not hop in, not hop out, not halfway, not show up to practice, not, show up when they're called upon, not doing what they're, what they want to do, but doing what's best for the team. And that's important if you're a part of the team. If you're a part of the team, then everyone has to play their part. Everyone has to do their part. Everyone has to put forth the best effort so that the team can succeed, so that the team can get the championship, get the ring. And so that was but you want to make each other successful. And slowly by slowly, if we keep building each other up. That's one thing that I'm not, as a leader, I understand that I don't know it all. I understand that I have flaws. And so sometimes, it's okay to me if people say, this or that or that or this. My only thing is that this is, if you dish it, you got to be able to take it too. Amen. But it's not a tit for tat. But listen, we're here to encourage. We're here to build each other. And as long as it's not given in the heart of wanting to tear someone down, but in the heart of wanting to build someone up. I'm telling you these things, just like you do with your children. I'm telling you these things because I don't want to see you get hurt, or I want to see the best of you. I want to see you succeed. And I'm just noticing something that's hindering and holding you back. I'm not trying to tear you down. I'm literally trying to pick you up. You'll hear me say all the time, I'm not trying to get something from you. I literally am trying to get something to you. And that's the heart. That should be your heart as a teammate, as a team player, as a leader. You're not there to tear your people down or to criticize them or destroy them, but you're there to build a healthy relationship by making them successful, by giving them the tools, giving them the tips, giving them the traits, whatever it is that they need to be successful. And sometimes, unfortunately, that does happen with some harsh conversations. I will say this: you can be saying all the right things, but saying them all wrong. You can be meaning with the right heart and the right attitude, but if it's not delivered in kindness and love, if it's not delivered in the right way, they won't receive it. They won't receive it, and you've just wasted your time and probably made an enemy. But if you come to them with just, listen, I'm not trying to tear you down. I'm trying to build you up. I'm trying to help you be better, and I've just noticed. But again, don't dish it if you can't take it. All right, just make sure that you know, if you're gonna give it out, you got to be able to receive too, because none of us have arrived. We all have flaws. We all have things that are not right. We all have things that we're working on until Christ be formed in us. And so we just remember that. But we want to see everyone succeed. The next part that he talks about is something he says, stewarding authority. Listen, you aren't a leader just because God called you to be a leader. You're not in the position that you're in on your job, your class, your school, wherever it is you lead. You're not there by accident. But you have two responsibilities. Number one is to train the people under you, and number two is to continue to grow in your leadership. It's something that I do try to do. I try to seek out the advice of older people. I try to read. I try to watch. I have plenty of mentors, actually some that I've never met. One, of course, is my pastor, Dr. Edwards, but the other one is Dr. Ari Vernon. Now, I've never met Dr. Ari Vernon. He pastors a church in Ohio. Never met him, but I've watched him. I've studied, some of his tapes, bought some of his books, and he's been a friend to my mind all these many years, and I've just glistened a lot from him. And so stewarding your authority means that you're not just happy with your where you are as a leader, that you continue to grow, that you continue to just foster the gift that's inside of you, that you understand that, you know what, and just like I'm expecting growth from my leaders, I'm expecting growth from myself. I'm pushing myself. I'm stewarding my authority. I'm making sure that I'm growing as a leader. And this takes time. We're going to make mistakes. I tell my people all the time, listen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry in advance. I'm going to make you mad a couple of times. There's going to be a couple of times you're going to want to walk away. You're going to be hotter than fish grease at me. Charge it to my head and not my heart. I really am not out to hurt you or offend you. I'm growing in my leadership. I'm growing. And people just need to understand that. We're all growing in our team positions. We're all working. We're all becoming better. And so stewarding authority, again, it also comes with not giving up. And I can tell you, honestly, there have been times as a leader where I'm just like, I'm through. It's over. I used to joke and say I quit every Sunday night. And then, amen, being the pastor of the church, I just quit. But on Monday morning, I start back up again. So it happens. You get discouraged when things don't go right, when you feel like the team isn't moving in the direction that you want it to move in, when you feel like, that program that you put forward, it was going to be a blockbuster and no one showed up. It's part of being a leader. But you know what? You don't give up. You don't neglect. You don't stop. You keep pressing forward. And eventually the wins do come. Eventually you get the championships if you don't quit. I've never known a team that quit win a game. It doesn't happen that way. And so as a leader, you don't want to quit. And the next part, and I only have a few more minutes before you, is he talks about a good foundation. This is crucial. I'm learning actually right now as we're speaking the importance of just setting a strong foundation, clearing up misunderstandings, making sure that goals and strategies are aligned so that everyone knows how to run with them. Over there in Rebecca, where he literally says, listen, write the vision down and make it plain so that the readers can run with it. It makes sense. A good foundation. And it takes time. It does take time, but you don't want to start, listen, you don't build a house on a bad foundation. I know when you were little, and like me, we used to make the house of cards. And if the foundation on the bottom cards was wiggly or wobbly, then the structure would easily fall down. It might grow a little bit, but it's going to fall down. And so building a good foundation, making sure that every team member understands where it is they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to be doing, that they're held accountable, it's all part of it. A good foundation is crucial to anything that you want to build. Jesus gave parables about, building on good foundations. Those who built their foundation on sand, and other illustrations that he gave in the Bible. It's so much true more also in building of teams. That foundations have to be set. They have to be, we have to all understand what the goal and what the vision, what it is we believe God is calling us to do as team members and as leaders. It has to flow this way. If people don't know where you're going, they won't know how to get there. They've also said, too, it's a famous quote, but I'm learning it. Listen, if you're a leader and you don't have anyone behind you, then you're just literally just taking a walk. And so leaders lead. Leaders do what is expected. They check on their team members. They nurture the team. They set a good foundation. From that, the walls and the structures and the roof and everything else can go and grow. And stuff like that. And then the last part, which I do love, and it's true. It's true. I don't care what level of leadership you're on. I don't care what level, if you're a high leader, a mid-level leader, if you're a team leader, if you're on the team. Listen, we all make mistakes. Okay, you didn't hear that. Let me say it again to you. We all make mistakes. We all are growing. We all sometimes say things we shouldn't say. We sometimes do things we shouldn't do. Sometimes we do things without thinking. Sometimes stuff just happens and mistakes come forward. A good leader is there to help. A good leader is there to direct. And a good leader is there to correct. But what a good leader is not there to tear someone down because they've made a mistake. Because, we've all, like I said, I can say it time and time again. It's true every time. We've all made mistakes. We've all done things. There's been times where you said something, in the moment that you said it, you said, "Oh, I probably shouldn't have," but it's too late. You've already put it out. Stuff happens. And as many times as Jesus has forgiven us of our sins, as many times as we've asked for forgiveness, and God has been faithful, how much more should we be to brothers and sisters of the faith? How much more understanding should we be? How much more that if God forgave us, how much more forgiving should we be? In fact, there's a scripture that talks about, listen, if you have a fault, if you have something going on before against your brother or sister, they made a mistake or you made a mistake or something happened, then listen, before you bring yourself to the church, before you bring your presence to the altar, before you offer anything, your Bible says go and get things right. It also says that if those of you who are solid, those of you who are mature, those of you who are loving, to restore with a spirit of gentleness those who have made mistakes. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but it just bears reminding that God doesn't always beat us up every time that we make a mistake, but He's gentle. He restores us gently, because one day you may not be the one making the mistake today, but keep living, and you wish that people would have restored, are gentle with your restoration. Just like people are hoping you're gentle when you restore them. Your team members, stuff happens. But we're just there to just really build each other up. We're there to just be mindful of each other. We're there to nurture the team. We're there to make sure that we get the best of each other, to help each other. encourage one another, pray for one another. That's what nurturing a team does. And again, when mistakes are made, of course, we accept, we apologize, we do what we need to do. But then we restore. We ask for forgiveness, or we accept forgiveness, and then we move the team forward, just like Jesus does with us. My Bible says that when we confess our sins, then he is faithful and just to forget them. And not only does he not continue to hold them against us or remind us of them every once in a while, it says that he casts them into the sea of forgetfulness, where they won't even be remembered anymore. He doesn't even think about it. It's done. It's over. And so that's how we should be with one another. We restore, we enhance, we apologize, we accept responsibility, and then we move the team forward. We move on. And so that's what Wayne in chapter 13 has been talking about. The responsibility of nurturing the team as leaders. And again, as I begin to read and ponder some of his points, again, I really saw this from the vantage point of being from the leadership position. But it can easily apply to each one of the team members, to each one of the positions that they play. It's all of our jobs to nurture the team. It's all of our jobs to make sure the team is functioning. Just like my kidney, if my kidney hurts or my toe hurts or my tooth hurts, the whole body hurts. The whole body suffers. And so we should really be looking after each other to make sure that the body, the team, is as strong as it can be. And just deal with things. So listen, I thank you. I pray that during this whole time that you have gotten something out of the time that we've spent together the last 13, 14 weeks, just reading, doing church as a team. Go back over again. These will be available in the library here on YouTube at any time that you want to recall them. I would even, if there's something that speaks to your heart during a team meeting or something like that, I would grab one of them. And I would play the video at the start of each team meeting so that we just begin to rehearse with doing team church as a team, doing church as a team together, what it looks like, what it should feel like. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to grow, prosper. And that's my hope for you. I hope that whatever you set your hands to, whoever's watching this, that your ministry flourishes, that your team grows bigger, that your business is better than it's ever been. But that's what we're after. And so again, we thank Pastor Cordero, again, who I may never meet, but again, thank you for this wonderful teaching in this book. It's been a privilege to just break down each chapter for you, and I hope that you have gotten something from it. Again, I love you. I'm praying for you. I want the best for you. Again, this is the tail end of 2020 for us as you're watching this, and so it may not be that when you are watching it, but when we're recording it, it was the tail end of 2020, and so again, just blessings for you, for your future, as you move forward in the things of God. Until then, until we meet again, bless you, and have a good day. Bye. And we're out.